I can't lie, it's a lot more fun to watch a wide receiver when they're incredibly quick, incredibly fast, and incredibly explosive. And when I look at those traits and those characteristics, the wide receiver that perhaps possesses the most of them in this 2014 NFL draft is Dree Archer from Kent State. Now, I look at this guy and I sit there and I say, wow, look at that speed. Look at that quickness. Incredible. Incredible. Reminds me of the speed and quickness that I saw out of a Chris Johnson coming out of East Carolina, heading into the 2008 draft. When I look at Dree Archer on film, those are the things that jump out to you. Is his initial quickness, his explosiveness, his speed, his ability to make something out of nothing, his ability to get yards after the catch, his ability to make big time plays, his ability to be a home run threat. His ability is in his versatility as well, because he's a guy that you're not going to line up on the outside at the NFL level, but he's a guy that you can line up in the slot, you can move him around, you can line him up some out of the backfield. He's one of those versatile type of weapons that teams more and more are starting to value in the middle rounds in the NFL draft. Now, obviously, being all of about 5'6" and 175 pounds, there's always going to be questions about his size. There's going to be questions about his durability. There's going to be questions about how much you can actually use him and still keep him on the field. And those are legit questions and legit concerns, surely. But I look at a guy ultimately, and let's face it, when you're drafting in the 4th or 5th round, you're looking for guys that can come in and contribute. You're looking for guys that could potentially prove to be huge steals. You're looking for really good role players. And a guy like a Dree Archer from a Kent State is a really good role player. Like I said, there will be questions about whether he's best suited as a third down back at the NFL level, if he's better suited as a wide receiver. Is he going to be a combination player, more of an offensive weapon than having any one set position? I'm evaluating him as a wide receiver, but keeping in mind that I would probably be drafting him somewhere around the 4th round as that offensive weapon, somebody that I could deploy out of the slot, somebody I could do some type of gadget plays with, somebody that I would line up some as a third down back, somebody that I would line up as a kick returner and a punt returner to get the maximum value I could out of him, but not have to necessarily play him every single snap. In terms of his NFL comparison, the best NFL comparison I have is probably a Darren Sproles. Somebody that as a ball carrier, he could carry a ball a few times a game, but ultimately he's best as a pass catcher. He's best catching the ball out of the backfield, or if you line him up in the slot, he's a guy that can make a lot of big plays, but also make the sure-handed, reliable plays. And that's what I see out of a guy like a Dree Archer. People maybe just started to notice him because of the time that he ran at the combine, but that's a shame because he brings more to the table than just pure speed. He's actually a guy that brings quite a bit to the table, brings a lot of options, a lot of versatility for an NFL offense, and somebody, again, I think that you should be looking at in the 4th round if you need a real difference maker, especially if you're a team like, let's say, my Chicago Bears. They need somebody out of the slot, somebody that can be deployed all over the place, somebody that can give them that quickness, that vertical speed, that they don't really have out of a Marshall and a Jeffrey. Well, now you take a guy like a Dree Archer, you can line him up some in the slot. He gives you a different type of wide receiver than what you have. You can line him up some as a complement to Forte as a third down back. He can occasionally carry the ball, but he can also catch the ball out of the backfield and be a potential home run threat every time he touches it. I don't just say that it's because I'm advocating the Bears taking him, even though I wouldn't be incredibly upset if they did. But that's the point. That's the kind of role that I envision for a Dree Archer. Somebody's going to end up taking him, let's say, in the 4th, maybe 5th round at the very latest, and be very pleased with what they ended up doing. I promise you that.